Hello, Mo. What,
Hi.
what sort of influences do you have for your art?
My influences for my artwork are heavily directed towards space and nature. I really like plants and the orbits of objects in outer space. Spirals in general make me feel connected to the universe. So I use them a lot in my art, and playing with shapes and color is something that is found throughout all of my artwork pieces. So this one in particular, you will notice that there's lots of play with the color and shape.
So, what about space or plants would you like to illustrate through your artwork?
Growth, flow and growth are the main ones that come to mind immediately, but probably the unrestricted nature of both things. That outer space, I feel like, has a lot to do with the way that I experience my reality. I think about chemistry a lot and the way that everything around us is made up of atoms and how different amounts of chemicals creates totally different substances, and whether it be the window or the ground or my clothes or even my face, it's all made up of guts of a star, and I like to imagine said star explosions in my art. Or the sun in particular I focus on a lot because I like to think of the plants in our world eating up the photons and using it for life. That's what I like to think about. At least that's what comes to mind immediately.
What say you of the concept of having limitations of your art?
I think it is a groundwork for creativity when you have limitations on your artwork. I think that you have to get more creative when you can't do certain things, whether it be with your medium, the amount of space you're working with, or even just the amount of time you're working with. You get a lot of different results when you challenge yourself with limitations. I think it's part of the experimentation process to give yourself limitations, and you find out new things about yourself and the way that you can make stuff in the process. It's a good thing.
So, what piece of art comes to mind when I talk about these limitations that you have done in the past? And can you tell me a little bit about that piece?
I like to do a lot of small-scale paintings where I am usually working with something that can fit in my hands. I feel like I have a lot more control over the piece. I can move it around so that I can have whatever shapes that I want to create, because with a big piece, that's a different kind of limitation where I can't move around it, but it's a bigger space. Whereas with the little canvases that I use frequently, the limitation is more in the size rather than my ability to work around the canvas.
What aspects of yourself do you think you put into your art?
Play, experimentation, the desire to create and have that creation feel good at the same time. I have a lot of desire for sensory experiences in general, and being able to create something in the process both is productive and seems helpful to myself in many ways.
How so helpful?
As somebody who experiences strong emotions and expresses those emotions with my person, it's difficult to channel those feelings in a day-to-day life. So being able to put those feelings and experiences onto the canvas helps a lot. And it's kind of creates a little world for me in a way.
Can you talk about some of your earliest experiences with artwork?
My dad drawing cartoons a lot for us on our birthday cards and stuff like that. He would draw cartoons of us and our dogs interacting with each other as kids. And I've always loved the stylized cartoon style that he had, and I watched a lot of SpongeBob and cartoons growing up, Pokemon and like Adventure Time and Kim Possible and stuff like that. It just, seeing how expressive people could make a drawing, there's stuff that is capable of, there's stuff that people are capable of doing in animation that you're not in live action film. And animation has a strong influence on my illustration work, for sure.
What might you say to someone with writer's block?
Sometimes you just gotta write a bad thing. Write a bad thing. Oh no, you write a bad thing, you gotta stretch that muscle. And then the next thing you write won't be as bad. And then you'll like it a little bit more. The thing that I tell people all the time when they ask me how did I get to be such a good artist is, I say, I honestly don't think I'm that good of an artist. I just push shape and color around until I think it looks right. And you're just remembering what looks good to you, you know? It's a muscle. You just gotta practice. It's not just gonna happen. That's all I got, really.
What do you think your magnum opus is? And can you tell me a little bit about, if you were to decide one, I can ask another question if...
Well, it's not that I don't have one, I guess. I really like my Celestial Emotion painting, the one with the eyes floating in the clouds. That took me a really long time to do and is very well done. I also really like my swamp drawing, with the eye on the sun.
What do you think the concept of eyes illustrates in your artwork?
The universe being aware of itself. Not necessarily in like a divine way, but more of like we're a part of the universe experiencing itself. And when I draw eyes in the space or the nature in my art, I suppose it has a lot to do with my relationship with nature and feeling like a steward of it, because it doesn't have a voice of its own, kind of like a Lorax type situation. Not that I or anybody is like the speaker of nature, but I think that there is some kind of collective energy that permeates throughout the universe that is also a part of us humans. So I try to represent that in my art.
Last question. What experience do you hope people come out of after viewing your art?
I hope that people feel playful themselves. I hope that people feel encouraged to try art themselves or enjoy the many wonders of our world, whether it be space, plants, animals, anything. Anything that people put their heart into, I think is beautiful. It's a bit vague though. I think that it's more for me than anybody. I don't know. I make art for myself, and if people get something out of it, then that's awesome. You know, it doesn't have to happen that way. Excuse me. Yeah, I want people to feel playful. I want people to feel like it's not that serious.
Lovely answer.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time, Mo White. Yep. Signing off.